Well, hello and welcome to our weekly look at Tiffin University football. Hi, everybody. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Tiffin University Dragons. To my left, head football coach Cris Reisert. Coach, welcome back in on a Victory Monday.
Yes, always good to come in on a Victory Monday.
Yeah, isn't it weird at all playing against your alma mater? I'm sure once a game starts, you're coaching your kids. It doesn't really matter. But from my vantage point, looking down there and seeing you, I remember just a couple years ago you were putting in our Athletic Hall of Fame at Ohio Dominican.
Yeah.
Is there a little something bittersweet about seeing those uniforms on their side?
Yeah,
there's a part of your heart that has still loved the time you played there.
Yeah, it's always a little nostalgic, you know, when you get to play your alma mater and you know, but it's each year I've kind of been removed from it. You know, I think it gets a little bit easier.
Right.
You know, and really the people, there's not as many people that you have connections with there, and I think each year that you're distant from it, I think you connect more with where you're at. You
Certainly.
know? So so I'm much more identify as a Dragon right now, you know, than I do as a Panther, and so that's kind of cool too. You know that it's been kind of a turning of the tide for our family too. That, you know, to be here at Tiffin and to be a part of the program in the town and the university, and we really enjoyed every moment of it. So it's always it is always nostalgic to be able to do that. But after the game, it was just cool to go 1-0. You know, and that's really kind of what it boiled down to, and was proud of our team, the way that they played and how they played.
Well, I have their radio guy, Todd Bell, is a guy I have a lot of respect for. I mean, I always enjoy my time getting to talk to him. I just want to pass along. They had a lot of very nice things to say about you as your time as a player, and the time that he's had a chance to talk to you after your playing days. So I want to make sure I pass that along. Todd's one of my good friends in the conference.
He's awesome.
Great guy.
He is a great guy, and he's done a great job and represents that place awesome.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the game. The Dragons, a hard-fought football game, playing against a team like Ohio Dominican that you know is going to play you tough, no matter what the records say. A quarterback who feels like he's been there forever and Evan Nurse, you know he's going to play well. And two of the quicker running backs that I think we've seen this year, they're burst through the line very, very quick. But a game that the Dragons were able to answer a late first half score with one of their own, which was absolutely huge. And we'll talk a little bit about it as we work our way through it. But you got to be very proud of your kids, the way you battled that game in the fourth quarter, second half, able to pull away and get yourself a 13-point victory.
Yeah, I think anytime you play a really good football team, you know, like an Ohio Dominican, I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, being able to answer the call throughout the course of the game. You know, and you really have to play 60 minutes of football. And I think, you know, really when you watch that game, you know, early it was very much like a heavyweight fight, right? They were making some plays, we were making some plays, and I thought every time they made a play, you know, or changed the tide a little bit, I thought we responded. And it was never they made a play and we kind of got in our feelings. It was they made a play. All right, here we go. Let's answer the call. And so I think that's a sign of a good football team. And I think you saw that on a consistent basis throughout Saturday night. And I was super proud of the way that our team responded to adverse moments throughout those 60 minutes.
Well, the scoring got started in the first quarter. David Orlando, a 23-yard field goal, a 12-play, 59-yard drive, taking 3 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock. And at the end of the first quarter, it's a low-scoring affair at this point, 3-0. The Dragons have a lead. Give us your feeling about how you felt with how your kids played after the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think we were encouraged. You know, it was offensively, you know, we'd only had 2 drives, and I think one was a 12-play drive and one was a 14-play drive.
Quarter was done like that.
Yeah, and they had kind of controlled the football a little bit on offense as well, and so to be able to come out of there with, you know, with the 3-0 lead, you know, we felt encouraged. I think it was a positive look into us offensively, what we were going to be able to do, and defensively, I think much of the same. I think they had come out of the gate and it had kind of thrown some stuff at us, and we'd weathered the storm a little bit, and so we were encouraged once we kind of settled in that we were going to be able to kind of go blow for blow.
Seems like teams, as we worked our way through the season, are trying to play a little bit more ball control offense against you guys, trying to eliminate the big plays that you guys were very capable of. And the second quarter is very indicative of that on Saturday night. When you look at the time, they ran 22 plays, you only ran 10 in the first half. We talked about in the past, you know, about how many plays you like to see ran in a game. And a 10-29 to 4-31 time of advantage, but your defense kept you in it until the final minute. They have a big play score to take a 7-3 lead. We talk about scoring in the final 2 minutes. How it enhances your chance how do you explain it when both teams score in the final 2 minutes?
Right.
Because they
Yeah, you don't see
score,
that often.
and then boom, right away, 3 minutes 50 or 3 plays, 52 seconds or 52 yards, excuse me, only 19 seconds off the clock, and your Dragons answer that touchdown and take that momentum that Ohio Dominican had grabbed and squash it right away.
Yeah, no, it was a big moment. You know, they scored. David Turner had a long reception, and he's a terrific player, so he's going to make big plays, and he did. Great throw from Evan, and so it was 7-3 game. You know, with them up 4, and then really, you know, what I thought was a pivotal piece of that was, you know, we had a huge kickoff return. You know, Frankie Stewart, you know, got the ball and brought it back to the 46 or 44, I believe, on a really, really good play by him, a great design, and by our staff, and then to be able to go out and Reggie Colson had 2 big plays, and then Nick had a quarterback keep and got it into the end zone. So I thought, like we had talked about, right, being able to kind of answer the call throughout the course of the 60 minutes. I thought that was very indicative, and that was a really cool prime example of that, where they had the momentum. We're going into halftime, right? We get a big return, 3 plays, touchdown, and now all that energy just came back to our sideline.
Franklin Stewart Jr. was electric on kick returns all day long on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, he was. No, super proud of him, and you know, he got his number called, you know, there and responded. So you know, he was out there for senior night, and you know, hasn't had a ton of opportunities throughout the year, and we really felt like it was time to give him that opportunity, and he took it and seized the moment.
That's great to see him do that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and then he had a big catch on 3rd down on offense. So Frankie had, I thought, a huge game for us that helped us win that football game.
Absolutely, yeah. I was going to mention, I got him highlighted in my notes here towards the back of the program. So 3rd quarter, Ohio Dominican, Evan Ernst, a 1-yard touchdown, running our long drive, 9 plays, 88 yards, and the Dragons scored first, right out the gate in the 3rd quarter. My highlighting was wrong there. Tiffin, Anthony Lowe.
Yeah.
The 23-yard pass from Nick Watson. Orlando's kick was good. 6 plays, 45 yards, only 2:01 off the clock, but your Dragons extend that lead to 17-7 before the Panthers came back and scored one.
Yeah, so again, you know, you score end of the first half, beginning of the second half. That's as good as you can get it, right? So I thought offensively to be able to answer it and then come in and be able to maintain that momentum, maintain the execution, and then go out and score. And Anthony had a big play on 4th down. It was 4th and 4, and you know, ran a little out route and defeated man coverage and caught it and made 2 guys miss. And it was a great block by Vince Ringland. It
was on the far sideline. Going to the south end zone.
It was a great block by Vince Ringland and great protection by our line, and Nick made a really good play. So that was, I think, a big piece of, again, the momentum, right?
Yeah.
Keeping it, maintaining it, and continuing to generate more.
I couldn't tell if Anthony had stayed in bounds on that play from our vantage point, but I just kept saying, put your arms up, put your arms up. The official, they put their arms up, touchdown. Now, we done mention Ohio Dominican came back and scored to cut it to 3, and then number 18, Will Thomas, gets his name in the scoreboard, a 6-yard touchdown run after a 7-play, 70-yard drive, taking 2 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock, and now your Dragons leads back up to 10. Yeah.
No, I think again it was great to see Will get in the end zone. You know, he's done some cool stuff for us, and it's kind of a backup quarterback role, and you know, to be able to kind of walk in there, and I think that drive got started by a long pass to Anthony as well, and so no, I thought that was all those things, you know, thrown into one to be able to have a 10-point lead, you know, later in the 3rd quarter and set the momentum going into the 4th.
How's Will Thomas accepted that role? Has he just kind of grabbed a hold of it? It's whatever it takes for me to get on the football field. Let's do this.
You know, the thing I'll say about Will is he's a football player. You know, he runs down on our kickoff team. He's on our kickoff return team. You know, he's on our pump block. He's on our punt. So he does a little bit of everything. So whatever he's called on to do, he gives his best effort and gives his best energy, and you're going to get it from him. So it was cool to see him. This is his 2nd touchdown on the year. So it's cool to have him get a touchdown in a big game, and then he's a Columbus kid. So to be able to win a game against you know, your hometown team, I think is always cool too.
That's great. So the other 3rd quarter, the Dragons had that 10-point lead, but you knew Ohio Dominican wasn't going to go away. They come right back. David Turner, you mentioned his name again earlier, a 28-yard touchdown pass from Evan Ernst. And they have the game back to within 3, but that's as close as your Dragons are going to let them get.
Yep. No, they're a proud program. They're a really good football team, and so you never thought it was over. No. I knew it was going to be a full 60-minute football game, and they answered, and then we answered again, and then answered one more time, and I think at that point kind of put the thing away. So it was certainly a heavyweight fight. We slugged it out. We duked it out. I was proud of our guys for just the intensity and the energy at which they played with. And I thought really, in summation, I thought it was maybe our most complete game that we've played this fall.
Yeah. No turnovers, right?
No turnovers. Yeah. And so we're proud of that. That's been a point of emphasis for us. And I think it was indicative of when we play team football, that we can be a pretty darn good football team.
Yeah, we both say, we're not surprised how Dominican came back, and that goes back to the point we made a couple of weeks ago with all these Ohio teams getting together in this conference. Yeah. These natural rivalries that are happening. We know we're in for a dogfight every Saturday, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Just hope you come out on top when it's all said and done. Another young man who is really making a name for himself in the second half of the season, Vince Ringland, number 82, gets in the end zone for you guys in the fourth quarter, about 10-minute mark from Nick Watson, 6 plays, 75 yards, and the Dragons increased that lead back up to 10. Vince has been doing some really good things for you.
No, he is. Vince is a true freshman from Milford High School down in Cincinnati, Ohio, and has really come on, and came on in the Ashland game, had an injury and kind of missed a couple games, and now he's back and made a big play, on a deep ball, on into our end zone, and I think he caught it with one hand, and he was juiced and got up and was celebrating. It was cool because the thing that we love about Vince is he plays with great effort. He's a great blocker, practices hard every day. And so to be able to see some of his development throughout the year, I think Coach Holzer, our receivers coach, has done a great job of really getting him ready to play. And so we think that his best football is ahead of him.
Well, transition from a freshman receiver to a senior wide receiver on senior day, a young man who had a huge game for you on Saturday, including a huge play in your final drive that set up the David Orlando field goal to ice the game. The long pass to Reggie Colson. Take us through that play.
Yeah, so one, I think Reggie has been a neat story. He got here and was really coming on and has battled injuries, and he's just, I think, starting to get healthy again. And you saw a little bit what he could do in the Kentucky Wesleyan game, and then this week you saw a little bit more of what he can do. And so we're just hoping to keep him healthy and keep him riding through. I think he's in a confident mentality right now. But that play in particular was a perimeter screen, and he had made a nice play and had gone up. We were down. It was 3rd and 14 back in our end zone, and Nick had made a really good decision to get him the football. And great downfield blocking. James Dean had a great block. Anthony Lowe had a great block. And really set him up to be able to go, and he made a couple guys miss, and I thought he was going to score.
I thought he was too at first.
Score, but he ended up running out of steam a little bit, to put it politely, and ran out of steam, and then David had the opportunity to go in there and kick a field goal, which was huge.
David had a good game on Saturday.
He had 2 field goals and I guess 4 PATs, and then did a nice job punting the football too. So we were super proud of him. He's really, again, I think, come on later in the year and is kicking and punting with a lot of confidence.
Well, look at some of the numbers after the Dragons' 34-21 victory. 159 yards on the ground for you guys. You hold down to 135. A couple of talented running backs we mentioned before we started the program here. And you held both of them combined, I think, to 99 yards. And Fred Pitts is one of the top 5 all-time yardage gainers in Ohio Dominican University football. And to hold an athlete like that to around 51 yards, I think he had in the game. Your defense did a really good job with some very explosive running backs.
No, they did, and our objective always is to stop the run. And I thought that for the most part we did that. Evan, their quarterback, had some moments where he was scrambling around and did some positive things for them. But largely, in true running game, I thought we did a nice job bottling up Fred and their other running back, and so we were super proud of the way our defense had played and executed what we were hoping to do.
Well, speaking of the defense, you had some young man. Feels like I was saying Jacob MERTUS' name all day long. Something about a senior on the senior day. Really going out and playing hard for you. He ended up with 9 tackles. Yeah, he was all over the place. Patrick TUEIMEH had another big game for you out of the secondary. Jermaine Wimpy had a forced fumble, and then LATRELL Robinson a big 12-yard sack. You guys really needed it during that game as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. No, I thought all those guys showed up. And Patrick did a really nice job in run support. Jermaine was tasked with covering David Turner, their best receiver and one of the best kids in the country, and Jermaine was tasked with chasing him around all day and really did and did a tremendous job. And David had gotten some big plays, but it wasn't on Jermaine, and so we were very appreciative of the job that he did on David, because I coached David and know David.
You know what he's about.
And coached Evan, and so I know how good those guys are. And so it was really impressive to see what Jermaine did throughout the course of the day. And Jacob, MERTUS been playing so many different positions. We've been battling injuries and
Right.
and was in a different position this week and
Seemed to work out okay.
Right, and was able to settle in and do a great job, and I
Right.
thought really impacted the game in a big way.
We mentioned Reggie Colson, 6 catches, 161 yards, including that 79-yarder. Anthony Lowe with 5 for 86, getting in the end zone. Vince Ringland getting in the end zone as well. And then running the ball, Nick Watson led the way for you. The numbers weren't huge for Darius Penix or Devin Nelson, but I thought Devin's 2 carries
They were.
for 26 yards were huge when you
Yeah.
needed them, and a little bit of, I guess, explosiveness when you brought him in during the game.
Yeah, there's no doubt. No, they were very impactful. And with Darius too, you know, when he carried the football, I thought it made an impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all those continual, like we had talked about, those continual times where you got to get off the block and you got to tackle a kid like Darius.
That's no fun.
Every time you hit him, it's going to be a punishment, you know. And I think those things wear on teams throughout the course of the game, and that's why we've had some success late in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Devin coming in and having those 2 carries, I thought were super impactful. And,
They were.
And generated some momentum and some big plays.
Well, the Dragons 34-21 victors at home on Senior Day. Hard to believe it's a final home game. Hard to believe high school football playoffs are going to the second week already this week. NFL football season about halfway done. My gosh, it's flying by. But Dragons 2 more games left on the road this weekend. We go to Walsh, and it's a 12 noon start. A Walsh, a team that's struggled a little bit in conference play. Got a win on the first game of the season outside of conference, but you know, you still got to go on the road, and you better bring your A game, or else a team like Walsh will get up and bite you.
There's no doubt. You know, Walsh is a proud program. They've always been a traditionally really good defense, and so they make it challenging on you, you know, week in, week out. Just scheme, effort, energy. You know, they play a physical brand of football, and offensively, you know, they always are going to be able to run the football. And so, again, you're trying to stop the run, right? And make them one-dimensional. And offensively for us, we're hoping to generate some positive momentum running the football, and hopefully be able to generate some things in the pass game as well. But any given week in the GMAC, you know, you've got to play good football.
Right.
If you don't, you can get bit. And so we've got to kind of refocus, re-energize, reprioritize, and go 1-0 this week.
Well, Dragons sitting atop of the Great Midwest Athletic Conference standings, tied with Findlay after the way things worked out this past week. They have a tough one with Ashland this week before we finish up the season with those guys on the road. But right now, it's all about the Cavaliers in Walsh this Saturday at 12 noon. You can catch our pregame show 11:30 on WTUD, TUDragonRadio.com, as well as at Coast Country 100.9 WMJK on your FM dial, and Walsh will have all the video for you at the Great Midwest Digital Network. Coach, thank you so much for the time. Have a great week of practice. Sun's shining. Did your kids have fun on Halloween?
We did. No, we had a great Halloween. We had a dentist, and we had I forgot what my daughter was, but we had a dentist, and we had my wife's gonna be mad at me for not remembering what she was. I think she was maybe Bo Peep. Is that a thing? Yeah, I think maybe she was Little Bo Peep. But no, we had a fun day. We got around the neighborhood, and you know, we always make it a point every year to get out for Halloween, regardless of what it is.
Kids love it.
So I get to walk around and play football in the front yard, and it's just a cool day. So, and it's nice being in a small town where it's very welcoming, and you enjoy stuff like that. So it was a good day.
Kids had a good haul too.
What's that? Always. You know, my daughter, she was mostly, I just kind of wagging her around. So we'll kind of wagging her up, and she'll get a piece of candy here and there. But Hawk, my son, is sprinting house to house to house to house. So we had a lot of fun, and been doing it. I love Halloween. It's so fun to kind of watch them get around and just to see the joy in their faces.
Absolutely.
And kind of let you put football aside and focus on the things that matter.
I remember the little guy from our press conference when we were hired here at Tiffin University. He got on our camera.
Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Seems like a long time ago.
Seems like a long time ago.
He got on the camera and said it gave us a big go Dragons.
Yeah, he has grown up.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys had a great time on Halloween, and let's go get another win on Saturday. As we said, the Dragons on the road at Walsh this Saturday at 12 noon. He's Coach Cris Reisert. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons. This has been your weekly look at Tiffin University football.